All right. So we're going to try this for the third time on this Sunday. We were actually on time, but due to some technical difficulties here, we're having some challenges. Let me know, can you hear? Hey, can you hear? Hey, Mama on the move. Hey, yada yada. Do we have any? Yay! All right, all right, all right. So we're going to try this again. Happy Sunday and welcome back. As always, welcoming you with a safe space and place to air and share your dirty laundry. You are with yours truly, Javante Cunningham, your host for today. Co-host Ken Boyd will be to join us later with our scavenger hunt and our trivia. Cash giveaway as always. So I was sharing with you guys that this week has been quite the challenge for me. Just didn't start off really well. I've been extremely weepy. I've been crying. Just been really dealing with some things. And Monday when I woke up, for some strange reason, I just couldn't stop throwing up. I was really just like out of sorts. I'm dealing with a lot of things in my everyday life at work and with my daughter being ill. And so I'm kind of, trying to juggle things, trying to, keep this thing afloat as well and bring you guys fresh content every week and make sure that, you guys are enjoying yourselves, And so, make a long story tolerable, as my brother Ross would say. I just wasn't feeling really good. And so it didn't dawn on me until I got to work on Tuesday and I actually had to write the date. May 19th. Well, May 18th, for those of you guys who don't know me personally, is my stepmother's birthday. And now, it's 14 years almost come October that she's been gone, but it still feels like it was yesterday. And so I didn't realize that Monday was her birthday. And so throughout this week, I've been just going through some challenges, some things, being stretched out. Growing pains, they're painful. They don't make you feel good. They're not called grow good. So I've been having some challenges. And it wasn't until yesterday that I realized that it's the residue that's left from broken relationships that leaves the pain. So we're going to deal with that carries a lot of weight, and it covers a lot of topics. And we're going to dialogue with Alicia again. Those of you guys who weren't with us on last week, we were dialoguing with Alicia Snoopins-White. She is the author of The Unspoken Truth. It is on the bestsellers list on Amazon and Kindle. Those of you guys who aren't familiar, she dropped her book March 2nd. Joyce Myers dropped a book 2 weeks later. Alicia's book was at number 23, and guess what? It skyrocketed to number 1. So that says volumes. It speaks volumes about what's in between those pages. You guys need to search it out on Amazon. From what I understand, there's been some challenges with a few people trying to locate it because of the picture not being the same. But guess what? We're going to dialogue about that too. Make sure you guys know all the particulars so you guys can pick up this piece of literature. It is a tool for healing, and it covers so many different topics. Last week we talked about suicide, and we also talked about those hidden things that go with how molestation takes place. So this week we're going to cover some other topics. Alicia also has some other endeavors that she has going on in life, and we're going to dialogue about those things too. So without further ado, I think Alicia is in queue. We're going to bring her on. Three, two. Come on, Instagram. Waiting on you, Alicia. You're messing up my cue time here. You're supposed to pop in on 5, 4, 3, 2. Waiting on you. If you're having issues connecting, come out of the live and come back. Just come out and come back. When you see the request, hit the request. I'll log you in, and we'll dialogue from there. Oh, thank you so much, Lawrence. You know what? It wasn't. Sometimes it's outside influence that causes you to revisit certain things, but it also has a lot to do with what's on the inside of you. And sometimes we just have to be real with ourselves, and we're not as strong as we think we are, and we haven't overcome as much as we think we've overcome, and we're still healing. And that's for me. I'm a work in progress. I stand upright before you guys every week, and it looks easy, but it's not easy. And I still cry. I still go through. I still have my moments where I'm human and emotion comes out and I have to deal, and then I have to regroup, and I have to remember greater is he that is in me than he that is in the world, and I can make it, and this too shall pass. So I'm glad that I had those experiences. Had I not had those experiences, I would not be able to have this auditory dialogue with you guys on this Sunday. So I'm excited about this topic. It's something that I think all of us that are on here, anybody that is under the sound or unction of my voice, we need to talk about. Either you have something going on in your life, you've had something going on in your life, or something that you can relate to, or something that you will soon visit. So I'm excited about it. And I don't know where my Alicia is, but she is somewhere coming. Lily, where are you? In the meantime, does anybody have any questions? Anything they want to share with me as we wait for our guest? What's been going on with you guys? Pink Fox, we haven't seen you in a while. Where you been? Where you been? What's going on with you? Yada, how are you? I'm still coming for my seafood. I haven't forgotten. All right, Alicia, come out and come back in. I see you're saying add you. I need you to come out the live and come back in the live. When you log in, it should say request, and we should be able to join. Bear with us, you guys. Oh, Pink Fox, I'm sorry to hear that. I hope everything is up and running properly for you now. I'm glad to see you're back with us. It's always a joy to have you. All right, you guys, I think we're okay now. Let's see what's going on. All right. Alicia, are you with us? How can we talk about this topic with our students and our children? Very fluently. We've all been through some things where we have the residue, or we've experienced the residue of the brokenness behind the relationships, either death, separation, conscious decisions to part with friends, relatives, loved ones, co-workers, mates. So it's something that anybody can relate to. You have to actually meet a person on the level that they're on. If you're dealing with a child, you have to actually deal with the child according to whatever the affliction is. If you're dealing with anxiety and separation with the death of a parent, then you dialogue. Hey, she's here. You dialogue with that child about the one thing that we're promised in this life is just that, death. And so you start there. Then you share with them the things that you've been through and the things that you've experienced along the way. Remember how it felt. And if you weren't that young, then you at least remember how it felt, whatever age, and you share that with them. And then you give them how they feel. And you leave open space for dialogue. Your kids should always be comfortable enough to come and talk to you about anything, good, bad, or indifferent. So I hope that helps. And here again, let's give this disclaimer before we start. She and I are in no way psychologists, psychiatrists, counselors. We are humans who have a heart to share with people, give advice as we see fit according to what we've experienced, but we are not professionals, okay? So we are not in any way giving you advice according to things that we have learned. We're giving you advice according to the things that we have experienced, or to either the things that God has imparted in us along the way. So without further ado, we will invite you back. It is always a joy to have you. Miss Alicia Newbins-White. Can you reintroduce yourself again for us this week?
Yes. Good evening, everyone. I am the best-selling author of Unspoken Truth. I'm also a life coach, a deacon, and a mother, and all of that good stuff. But I'm here. I thank you guys for having me back on the show.
Oh, you're welcome. It's a joy. Thank you for coming back. I mean, you're pretty busy.
I absolutely had a wonderful time last week. And so I'm excited to be back, in the laundry room.
Yes, we are happy to have you.
Thank you. Thank you.
So now, I was sharing with them about my week and letting them know that it's really, 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 hey, how are you guys? Everybody's saying hello. Hey, 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 hey. I was letting them know that it's just been a really challenging week for me, and letting them know what I experienced on Monday. I didn't share with them the drama and the woes of the other things that are going on with me in life, but I did share with them that it's definitely been a challenge, and that having had to go through these challenges, did I realize yesterday that it's the residue and the impact from the broken relationships that brings back those painful memories and those things that you have to revisit, that remind you that you really have not healed as much as you think you have. So I'm excited to dialogue with you
And it's to my understanding you're going to share some information with us, some literature, some excerpts out the book. She's going to give us a window in.
Yeah.
A window in.
I would,
The book.
go ahead. I
Go
would
ahead.
definitely, like to shed something on the topic, because I know what that feels like to believe like, oh my God, I'm healed, I'm whole.
Yes.
Still, when certain things come up in your life, you find yourself back on your pillow crying. Um, and it's just the remnants, it's the after effect, which is why my book is entitled Unspoken Truth: The Aftermath of Sexual Abuse. um because just because I may look good on the outside does not always mean that I am completely healed and whole on the inside. And with that being said, there's a lot of things that you pick up along the way after a sexual trauma. I mean, trust issues, anger. We went over a whole bunch of stuff last Sunday, but it's a lot of stuff that we pick up along the way. We don't always know we pick these things up, but having trust issues, being filled with anger and rage is one of those things. We just kind of collect some stuff and we become like bag ladies, so to speak.
Absolutely.
So, completely being healed and whole is when you could sit down and have a dialogue and know and say, hey, I know XYZ happened this week, but it didn't really bother me. I saw it. I saw what happened, but it did not affect me. I don't have those kind of issues anymore, and I'm so very grateful. What I will tell you, though, is that it was not easy. It was a process, and we had to go through that, especially when we're talking about mending relationships. Because when you think about relationships, especially once they're broken, it's hard to kind of go back and piece together a relationship. Sometimes you be done said some things, you be done did some things, and it's all because you were filled with anger and rage from the trauma. And so it's like, okay, what do I do with this? No one wants to keep saying, hey, I'm sorry. Hey, I'm sorry. But at the end of the day, it's imperative to make sure that we have our support team, our support system. And so we do have to kind of make those, go back and mend those relationships. I will definitely be sharing something out of the book today. If you wanted to chime in, Javante, because I'll share something a little later. I guess in a little bit from the book. Did you want to add anything about the broken relationships? I know you had a hard week this week.
Wow. Hard is an understatement. What they don't know is I've been a weeping willow for the last literally Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, now Sunday. The last 7 days, I have been a ball of tears, because we've had a lot of dialogue throughout the week.
Correct.
And I shared some things with you that I didn't share with the world, and I'll share these things with the world. It wasn't until last year when I actually watched the docuseries.
Okay.
The first one.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get to see it beforehand. I wasn't in New York.
Okay.
With the other young ladies. I wasn't there when they went to the premiere, even though that didn't go so well.
Okay.
I wasn't there.
Okay.
So the little snippets that they did see, I didn't see that. So I got to meet the docuseries at the same time you guys did last year on January the 4th.
Wow.
And so it wasn't until I actually watched the docuseries that I realized that I was so damaged.
Yeah.
Because there were things that I hadn't even thought about. Yeah. Hadn't revisited. You go through life thinking nobody will ever know this.
Yeah.
Nobody will ever believe me. We tried. Nobody listened to us. Mm-hmm. We were treated like back alley trash. And so you suppress those things and coupled with all the other things that the world doesn't know that I've been through. And so I didn't realize that I was really affected by those things until I had to really see those things. And so now, here it is, where I think I'm fine. I'm really not.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so now, you start reflecting on the things that you've gone through throughout your life,
Yeah.
how you have not only been victimized, but re-victimized over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And so now you're on somewhat of a slippery slope, because on one end you're solid and you're sound, but on the other end you're conflicted and complex, and you're really not together.
Correct.
And so having to deal with that, and then not dealing with it on a professional level. And what I mean like by that is not going to sit down and talk to a professional about it, just dealing with it internally while you help other people heal, has been a challenge. And I think this week it kind of just all came to a head.
Yes, it did.
Everything just kind of just came to a head. All the years, all the stress, and just feeling like you're not protected everywhere you go. That feeling of needing that protective barrier, needing something or someone to stand up before you and say, no, enough is enough. This needs to stop. And I didn't feel defeated. I was broken. There's a difference.
It's a difference.
I was just broken. I was just the realization of I couldn't fight for myself enough really sat in on me. Like, as much as you guys see me together, as much as I articulate myself as well together as I appear to be, I am still a little girl on the inside that wasn't nurtured properly, that still hasn't healed properly as an adult woman, that still got to walk down memory lane. And those things hurt.
Yeah.
And when you're in situations that feel, taste, smell, or even get close to those things that you felt before,
right,
you revisit the pain. And so out of that pain came the beauty of the impact of broken relationships. And so it's not just the relationships that are broken in family, it was the relationships that are broken with death, the devastation that is left behind with that, the devastation of being misused or mistreated by people that you love and you trust. All of that plays a part on how you relate, how you receive, and how you handle yourself in certain situations. So I found out this week it was okay.
Yes.
To cry. It was okay to not be strong.
Yes.
It was okay to just be that little girl and say, you know what, it hurts. You know what, I don't feel so good. You know what, I can't make it. I need somebody to carry me. I'm tired of carrying everything and everybody. I need some help. And so I said I wasn't going to cry. And God dang blasted, I just got my ass to go down. Shoot. I said I wasn't going to cry. But you know what? I'm human just like you guys are.
That's right.
And it hurts.
It does.
It hurts. It doesn't feel good.
Yes.
To not be undergirded. And though I have a dynamic support system, it has nothing to do with the things that I have been through throughout the years where I didn't have the support that I needed, or the support that I needed was no longer there. There were people that had passed on and I had no control over it. And evidently they left me with the toolage I needed to carry on, but sometimes you don't feel like you can carry on. Sometimes you like, can I just climb up on somebody's shoulders and somebody carry me? And so
the thing about that is that when it's in those moments, when you're going through that, it's the little girl on the inside that never was properly affirmed, that was never ever sat down and said, here, I'm here for you. I absolutely love you. I absolutely have your back 100%. That is something that was very, very detrimental. Because what has happened is there's a little girl still on the inside that's still healed. She kept making birthdays, but she's still in there. And so we have to allow her to grow up. We have to first heal her. We have to heal her, because if we don't, she's just still gonna be broken. What I wanted to share with you guys about, broken relationships. Some of you some may know, some may not. My story was stemmed from the fact that I was 11 and I was molested by my uncle. Well, the backstory to that is that my mom actually left me alone. My very first time ever being left alone. I was left with my siblings, and she just got up and said she was going off to choir rehearsal. And I didn't get any instructions, no direction, didn't know what to do. This is my first time being left alone. And so when I was molested, I felt like she abandoned me. I felt like she hated me, because that was the way my 11-year-old mind was able to articulate what has happened to me. I literally had to call my aunt to come and get me from, we lived in Zachary at the time, which is probably like a 30-minute ride from Baton Rouge, but she had to come drive 30 minutes to come and get me. That meant for me, I had to sit there 30 minutes with his body fluids and things on me. And I felt disgusted. I felt nasty. And from that, I that's how I saw myself. I was not pretty enough. I was not good enough. I felt unwanted. I felt lonely, because the little girl at 11, she was lonely. She was lonely because there was no one there to tell her, okay, well, go inside and lock the door. They didn't tell her that you could give her permission to love and to be free as an 11-year-old girl. So I just want to kind of read you guys this one little thing, and I promise, guys, I won't be long. But I'm reading, this is chapter 8, because, and the name of this chapter is Learning to Forgive. And it just starts off, it says, after they removed my appendix, I knew that I needed to get to the root of the problem with my mama, just as my first lady suggested. I went to God about how to address the situation with mama. I heard him loud and clear saying to me, talk to her. And I thought to myself that I had been doing that for years. However, I knew what I had to do to be able to forgive. Forgiving was hard for me to do because my flesh wanted my uncle to pay. I wanted mama to pay for leaving me. I began thinking to myself about how I was going to get over this madness. Although I had no clue as to how I was going to address this, I made sure to stay open for the opportunity. One night, I decided that I would go over to mama's house because I hadn't been there in a while. While I was there, my brother and I were in the room with my mama. The conversation presented itself for us to talk about our childhood. My brother was talking about how my daddy was never around for him and the things that he should have learned from him, but he didn't. Then I brought up the topic about mama leaving us and me being molested by my uncle. Not only were we left unattended, but mama never said that she even loved me. She also never told me that she was sorry. That hurt me more than anything. They both sat quietly as I expressed my sentiments through tears. The story was like a scab, and every time I went over it, I was opening it back up. This time, my baby brother was there, and he said to mama, do you hear your daughter? Her response was yes. But what do you want me to do? He said, mama, your daughter is telling you that you never said sorry. You never told her that you love her. Even though it was hard for her, she said she was sorry at that time. And so even in that moment, and I was probably 36 or something, the 11-year-old me heard, I'm sorry for leaving. The 11-year-old girl on the inside of me heard, I love you. And the healing process and me being able to forgive her began. And I will definitely tell you guys today that every day is a struggle. Every day is something new, because the enemy always wants to remind us from where we were. We're no longer there anymore. I forgave her for leaving me, because the thing I realized is that she didn't intentionally leave me to be molested. It was just something that the enemy decided to take advantage of. And so when it comes to, grieving and trying to mend, and trying to help the little girl on the inside heal, you just you gotta let some folks off the hook. Because people, I know, especially my mom, she's one of 13 children. Could you imagine the 13th child, what she didn't get? It was a lot of stuff she just couldn't give me because she just didn't have. She just didn't have it to give. And so I couldn't blame her for that. But what I did do is I blamed her for not saying those things that I needed to hear. And once she said it to me, it was like the floodgates just broke. God, I cried, I cried, I cried. But before all of that even happened, that would be my life story. Every day I would cry. I mean, and if someone even said, my uncle's name, it was like you were ripping the scab all over again. And so I just got sick and tired of it. I didn't want to walk around and be hurt by him anymore. He had taken too many of my years. He had taken too much from me already, from my own life. And so I was destined to take back my power. And that's what I did. I took it back from him. And so my thing is that you have to give yourself permission. Girl, ain't nothing wrong with crying. I mean, it hurt. It was something that happened to you, first of all, that wasn't supposed to happen. Second of all, no one stood up for you. No one stood up for me. Even though I went to the emergency room and all my family got there, I wanted him to pay. I wanted him to pay. But how do I tell that to my mom? How do I express that as an 11-year-old girl? How do I say, when she picked me up from the hospital, she was like, we got home and she asked me, and I tell you guys all this in the book, but she asked me, she said, one time that night, she asked, are you okay? Now, what was I supposed to tell her? Because you know what the 11-year-old girl wanted to say to her? Hell no, I'm not all right. Hell no, I'm not all right. I mean, are you stupid for leaving me? Are you stupid for asking me, am I okay? I mean, are you just slow? Come on, mama, what do you think? And I spill all that out in the book. So the emotion of it is raw and is there. But I'm telling you, it's okay to let that little girl cry. It's okay to let her, because you know what? Crying it's like the slip and slope to our soul. You gotta let her heal. And with that young girl, she'll forever keep popping her head up because she's still there. I don't know the 11-year-old Alicia anymore. I don't carry her with me anymore. She grew up. And so we got to get you to the point to where the 11-year-old, I mean, 6-year-old Javante grew. We got to get her grown.
4.
That's a very, very rough age at 4. That's a very rough age. And so I will definitely tell you that crying does not show a sign of weakness. It shows character. It tells me that you still love that little girl, and the adult Javante is willing to fight for her. She's willing to fight for her today. And guess what? I'm willing to fight for the 4-year-old Javante. I'm willing to fight for.
I did not log on for this, y'all. This was not what we were supposed to be doing at all.
Y'all let my baby know. Look, my baby
At all.
she is so sweet. She's so tender, and I know for a fact, just dialoguing with her this last week, it's just like, I want to actually fly to go to Chicago and just like give you like the biggest bear hug, because the 4-year-old needs it. The 4-year-old still needs that. And you guys, I'm telling you, if you are going through any of this, you still need to allow yourself to heal. Girl, listen, this is happening more often than not. Okay? When I found out that it's 90% of the people that do these things to us are about people that we know, I was floored, because that's horrible. My thing is that sometimes the enemy tend to use, our loved ones to get to us. Because I mean, think about it. Your mom's not gonna drop you off at a stranger house and say, "Stay there till I get back," which is why this stuff keeps happening. But the thing that I want to impress upon you today is that you don't have to be sorry for crying. You don't have to be sorry for weeping and allowing yourself to weep. You don't have to. Give yourself permission to do that. Girl, look, I done cried, cuss, fuss, uh, cut. I mean, I done it. This book, listen, this book actually tells way more information than I really wanted to tell y'all. I'm just telling you.
Okay. Aaron, it's a safe space. You know, you guys, not to cut Alicia off, but transparency is necessary for people to heal. And I provide a safe space and place for you to share and air your dirty laundry. And that's also applicable to me.
Yeah.
These are dual lessons. I don't stand before you and say, "Oh, I got it together." If I did, I wouldn't be standing before you.
That's right.
God has a way of reaching those people who are not on the levels that every other person has reached. He'll meet you right where you are. And so I stand before you, just me.
Yeah.
Just me. I'm silly. I'm kooky. I'm a firecracker. I pop off, but I cry. I bleed. All that just like you do. You know, so I'm sitting here feeling like, oh my God, I'm crying. They don't think I don't have it together. And you know what? So what if I don't?
like who cares? Because let me tell you something. If you sit down and you have a conversation with any of the people that's on here, I guarantee you'll find out that you have more in common with them than you know. Because, you know, I do know parts of your story. And I know it's several different things that we've discussed. And the genres of what we talked about is so broad. I mean,
yes.
The timeline will be just flooded because people will be, typing, trying to chime in because it's happening, and so I'm gonna be honest. I actually was I spoke with one of my cousins a little earlier today when I come out of church, and she, she just encouraged me. She was like, you continue to do you, because whether people like you or not, whether they want to have anything to do with you, not, and that's including family and all, but you continue to do what you're doing because you've stepped outside of the box. And being outside of your comfort zone does not necessarily mean, oh, this is a bad place, or people going to, I don't know y'all. I don't know any of y'all. Hey, Flawless, I don't know any of y'all, but what I will definitely say is, I mean, y'all get to see us on a daily basis. We don't see y'all behind the camera, but let me say this. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I know for a fact that I've been dialoguing this week with my sister Javante, and it's time. It's time. I'm outside of the box. I'm trying to get you over here with me. Like we got to get it together. Because, when you free, I mean, girl, if I see your boy today, it's like, oh, I got something for you. It's going to be this book. I'm going to slap it across his forehead.
Now that part I don't have. I don't have. I confronted my assailant, the original assailant, many years ago. And I told you how I felt. I had made up in my mind I was going to kill this individual. You going to die today.
Yeah.
Today going to be the end of your life, because if you stand in my face and tell me that I'm making this SHIT up to sugar honey iced tea, you going to 26th Street. Those of y'all that's from Chicago know that's the morgue. I don't mean 26th in California. I'm talking about 26th in Harrison. Bag tagged and cold. Your ass is out.
Yeah.
But when I went to go confront the individual, they said, "No, you're not crazy. Yes, I did this." And I was able to walk away from that whole. It's the other things that I've had to deal with after that that I'm compartmentalized in. And though I do really, really well for the most part,
you do.
I still have my moments, a work in progress. I hit bumps in the road. I don't know about in your hometown, but here they have these things called speed bumps. And what they do is they stop you from driving swiftly down the street,
Of course.
depending on what neighborhood you're in.
Mhm.
And so when I go too fast, God will put a speed bump
Yeah.
in my road.
Mhm.
And I'll have to remember, oh shit, oh shoot. Yeah, I know I cussed and said God in the same statement. It's okay. It's okay. It's all right. Don't freak out. Don't tap out. God will meet you right where you are. And the sooner people get that down in their spirit, the better folks will be.
Yeah.
It's okay. We don't have to put on a front for each other because we stand before him in our nakedness.
That's right.
So I continue to just be me.
Mhm.
But he has a way of making me revisit things and reminding me, or showing me, not even reminding me, showing me that I was moving so fast that I didn't realize that I didn't heal past this or I didn't heal past that because I was on tunnel vision. My goal was on making sure that I did not fall or falter.
Yeah. Well,
I'm going to be okay regardless. So I was okay in a sense,
mhm.
but I'm okay.
Yeah, you were okay with masking it. You kind of put your band-aid on it, and it wasn't hurting, so you just but then you started walking, and you stubbed your toe, and then you realize, oh, that ain't healed up under
They
there.
be messing with me, y'all. I be wanting to go Ninja Turtle.
I know, right? But you know what? God would have to always, like, he kept bringing me like back to this same little fork in the road, because I had a huge issue with, because I was angry and I felt like I was entitled to be angry. Like, do you know what happened to me? I got a right to walk around here, jump on people, tell people that the sky is purple when I know it's blue. Uh, don't argue back because it's purple. God darn it! I said it's purple.
I said it's purple. You
I
don't see the lavender.
it's purple. So I mean, like, don't argue. And people got to the point to where they was just like, you know what? We ain't arguing with that. That girl crazy. We not gonna argue with that. Yeah, it is purple, and they like this here behind me.
I know I've had some moments like that. Ooh, any of my people over here, they probably like, she didn't tell us the sky was purple, but she told us she just had that in her hand and it didn't fell on the floor.
Right.
But she talking about she didn't have it. She wasn't the last one with. I wasn't technically,
Right.
because I went to the bathroom. But what I'm saying is, it did end up on my side of where I was sitting before I had moved to the other side where they was sitting at.
Right.
They set me up.
They said
I've seen this before.
Girl, but and see, for me, alcohol was my thing, you know and I remember, and I put this in the book, Mad Dog was our drink, and Mad Dog made me act just like the name.
I have to tell y'all about Mad Dog at a later date.
Mad Dog had me acting just like a mad dog. Like, I wanted to fight. Like, I would bark at everybody. Don't walk past my yard, because I'm going to be just like a chihuahua. I'm going to be barking up and down and things.
With the chihuahua.
Yeah.
See,
like a chihuahua.
my Mad Dog stories ties into my whole. That's a Tiffany Hawkins. That's gonna be a whole nother. That's a whole nother series. Keep watching. It's more to come. We just getting started. Y'all really don't let the tears fool you. I got my program in. I got my program in place. Don't get it twisted now. I'm together with my aesthetic. Okay.
Right.
We got more. We got a gang load of things that are coming to you guys.
Right.
Things you're looking for. Excuse me. Things that you're anticipating and things that you have no idea underneath my belt. So you'll get that tea. You just won't get to sip that lemonade today.
That's right. And look, and that's okay, because we've all had a past. Look, somebody said Cisco. Now listen, I didn't do Cisco.
I didn't do that. They said that was liquid crack. That was clue. I wasn't trying that.
I was scared of the Cisco.
I wasn't trying that.
I was scared.
St. Ives beer. I was scared. I had St. Ives one time. First of all, I wasn't a drinker. I mean, I told on myself last week. I got myself in trouble with my daddy. And I'm just let y'all know. He was like,
he got a whooping. Spank.
I was like,
yes.
Daddy, you got to watch the second part. It would have all made sense. He was like, okay. I got to put my big boy drawers on because I don't want my bed. I'm like, Daddy, it's okay.
Yeah,
So I won't say what I said last week, but if you was there, I told y'all a little something. I can't say it again because I get in trouble. But
she did.
drinking was not my thing. But I did try one day to drink some St. Ives beer,
Yeah.
and that was Ice Cube's beer or whatever. I ain't had no business drinking no beer at all. I had to been about, oh gosh, I I probably was like 12, 13 years old. I was sick as a dog. Do
Oh,
you hear me?
oh yeah. Girl.
I was sick. And then they gave me salt, talking about it was gonna make me feel better. They knew it was gonna make me throw up even more. But I tell you, I grew up with some horrible, y'all was horrible people, deplorable individuals, just ungodly individuals. Some of the stuff we did to each other, it's just not right.
Girl, but you know what? And we were so, I mean, I don't know. I know for me, I was such a risk taker. I would, I need to see what that's about. I need to see. I'm a spill a little tea on myself today.
It's okay. It's the safe space. The air is checked.
And be a little transparent. But when I was younger, I remember it was this guy that I grew up with, right? And we were like in elementary school, but I thought it was real cool that he was able to do the snuff where they put it up under their tongue. Why, boy?
What was he doing with tobacco in his mouth in grade school? I would need to talk to his mother and his grandmother and
Listen,
3, 4 generations of DNA.
I mean, girl,
Yeah, that ain't right. That's
the
child abuse.
around with skull in his pocket, right? And so I'm sitting there like, you know what? I mean, I don't see you wilding and acting a fool, so I'm just like, it can't be that bad, right? Girl, so he was like, okay, I'm just give you just a little bit. So I got a little bit, and I didn't get the rules as to what I was supposed to do and not do. So of course, I did the one thing that you ain't supposed to do, which is swallow the saliva or the what.
Oh no.
Girl, so I ended up swallowing. First of all, you put it up under your tongue. I don't know. I guess it's a ghost pepper. It burned like a ghost pepper was up under my tongue. So I was like, oh my God. So of course it was like it's once it got wet, it was just like it just kind of, went everywhere. So I was, I just went on and swallowed it, girl. The next day, that night,
Ooh, you were sick as 3 dogs.
baby, wasn't nothing worse. Wasn't nothing worse was when it started trying to come out on the other end, baby. Like, oh,
You had ghost pepper poop.
Devontae, I was sitting there like, and first of all,
It's funny.
so I can't go tell my parents why my stomach hurting and my butt burning. I can't say it. It's like, oh my God, why did I think that was gonna be? I don't know.
And see, we could not trade childhood stories because that's pretty innocent. Okay, well, I have a tobacco story that'll give you a little tickle. They used to have these things called the Certa Saver paper, right?
Okay.
They would go around and put them in your mailbox or in between the handle of your screen door.
Okay.
So we decided we were going to make cigarettes. Me, Chico, Keisha, and Shiaki.
Okay.
I ain't give y'all last names, so don't nobody send me no dang on what they call it, cease and desist. I ain't got no money, so don't be trying to sue me. You ain't gonna get number 2 kids and a link card and a bad attitude at O'Reilly. Okay? So anywho, we decided we were gonna make cigarettes. So we took the Certa Saver papers and we crumbled up the leaves. It was like October, so it was leaves on the ground. And rolled them up in the newspaper and smoked them.
No.
We probably gonna have cancer in the next life off the ink.
Not cancer. Now,
Because now that's one of the innocent childhood stories. You really don't want to hear what we was doing because we was terrible children.
I think we kind of had some stuff too. As my aunt would always say, "Go light this cigarette off the stove." And it's about 50 of me and my cousins in the kitchen, and she give a cigarette this long, about this long ones, right? And by the time we come back out there, it's like this here. And she would always say, What happened to the rest of it? We would always say, "Oh, we were trying to light it. It went out before we got to the door, and we had to go back and relight it." Girl, we done sat there, girl, the end of
And smoke that cigarette.
we done
Ooh.
passed it around. You thought it was something else. I'm just sitting there like, we is bad. We is bad. This is horrible.
Nah, we was terrible. See, I can, you all will have to actually buy my book if you want to get all the tea. I ain't telling. I can't tell them, Lisha. I can't tell them, Lisha. They don't need to know. They may stand in judgment.
They
might be like,
listen. I've bared my soul and mind, and so y'all just have to judge me from afar, because I done told it.
I'm gonna tell it now. Hold on. I'm gonna tell it. God didn't bring me through all this craziness for me not to tell it. People are saved by the blood of your testimony. If you do not share with people what you have been through, and I think that's the biggest myth in the African American community, but in humans, period. People think that if they keep their things hidden, nobody will ever know. It'll just go away. No, you went through those things so that somebody else can heal. Somebody else is going through those same things, doesn't have the tools that you had when you went through, and needs the fundamentals. So you have to share with them what you went through. People need to see that God exists. How do they find out God is real?
From your story.
By seeing it doesn't matter what your origin of religion is or what you choose to call him. Who gives a rat's book on you? It's the same thing. As long as you give praise to something higher than yourself, we know you got good sense to know that God exists. And that's all that matters. But if you don't show that God has had a hand in your life, then people can't even see what you've been through.
Right.
And then you wonder why people can't see the brokenness on you, because you're walking around with this harsh exterior like, I'm good. No, you're not good.
You're not good.
No, I'm not good. It's like being the damsel in distress and needing to have gas put in your car. You're on the side of the road, but you're particular about who's going to help you. You either got your hanky out or you don't. Because if you didn't need any help, then clearly you wouldn't be stranded.
Right.
So we have to also remember as women to be in the right position, because we've been out of place for so long. We think we're harder, or we need to present a harsher exterior than we need to. No, it's okay to be a lady. It's okay to let that man stand with you, beside you, and in front of you. Because if you standing up right before him, then he sit down, and that make him somewhat of a
yeah.
I ain't gonna say it, Lee. I ain't gonna say it, but you know what I mean. And it doesn't mean that that's what he is. It's just sometimes you can emasculate a man by being out of position, being out of place. And so to get back to the original point, it all ties in order for people to see the softness in your heart, or to give you the leniency that you need, you have to allow them to see your heart. And if you're so busy guarding it, if your fist like this, nothing can get in it.
Ain't nothing coming out.
And ain't nothing coming out. And so if you want to be received, you have to draw and not repulse. You can't be in two places at one time. It's an oxymoron. It's a yin and a yang, and pit swing one way and the pendulum goes the other.
Yeah, most definitely. And Pink Fox says it's going to fester into something worse. It will definitely fester into something worse. I will strongly agree with that, because although I was molested, I ended up having to deal with anger issues, and being filled with rage, and just being suicidal, and going through a whole heap of stuff that I probably wouldn't have had to deal with had I had the perfect support system or team that was able to kind of come in and swoop me up. Because really what was needed was the little 11-year-old girl just needed to be affirmed. She needed to know that she was loved and she wasn't alone. And so now that she knows that, she done completely went away. And so I don't play with her. She don't play with me. I don't even see her. She gone. It's a done deal. She off to college, gone, moved out, whatever. But I wrote this book because, first and foremost, me telling my story absolutely it really had nothing to do with me. It really had to do with trying to make sure that I help other people. And it fell in my spirit this week, guys. We as women, we need to make it very comfortable for our, and I'm going to say this, African American men. They have the hardest time because they were never given permission to cry and to grieve. And let me just say this, they go through it. The African
Yeah.
American man has a whole lot of stuff. They, if they cry, they get called, a punk, or you ain't a man, and all this and that. And I mean, come on now, that don't make you. My husband is a deacon in the church, and when I tell you, I've watched him cry. I've watched him shed tears, and it's fine, because one thing about it is, I'm not standing on there like, oh, you cry, you a punk. No, I'm standing there saying, you do what you got to do, because I got your back, because I know at the end of the day that he has mine. And so when you in relationship, and it doesn't necessarily mean that it has to be, like an intimate relationship, but if you're in a relationship with a man, or even, a boy, that's gone through any of that, don't keep harassing them. Oh, what you crying for and all that old stuff. Let them cry, because just like we need to cry, they gotta
Yeah.
cry too. And God dropped that in my spirit to just inform the people, because guess what, our black men are getting shot down in the streets. They got a whole lot of stuff. They got to take care of families, some taking care of children that ain't even theirs. And I praise God for that, because that's going on in my household. But my thing is that you have to have a safe space for them, because they are the head of the household. And I mean, you can't leave from the back. You done broke him down and demasculate, you just done tore him up and ripped him to shreds. He'll never be able to grow. And that's why you getting little boys that you think you got a man, and then you realize, okay, he playing all these games, but he's playing these games because he a child. He's on the inside, the little boy that needed to know that, hey, you went through something rough, and so we got to help you to heal. I love you. I'm gonna be here for you. They don't have that, because African American men, when they see they children, they sons cry, the first thing they tell them is, men don't cry. Boys don't.
Yeah. Or punch them up to beat the body up. Let me get that chest. Open up.
Really? The first time I've ever seen my daddy cry, I knew, because I had never seen him cry before. And I have watched him have freak accidents one after another. I seen him drop a whole pot of hot water on his foot. He hollered, but he never shed a tear. The day that my grandmother passed, his mom, when she passed away, I saw him cry. And I'm gonna tell you, as his daughter, I knew that I needed to cry, because when you don't see, a man crying, when you do see him crying, it's like, oh, we really in trouble. You know what I'm saying? And it shouldn't be that way. It shouldn't be that way. But I sat there and I wiped his tears, and I told him, I said, Mother wouldn't want you to cry like that for her. And I remember trying to keep it together, for him. And we just kind of loved on each other, but he wasn't like, oh, I ain't crying. He cried. And I've never seen him cry again, but he did. And that didn't make him no less than a man, because if any of y'all come for my daddy, I'm telling you, that's my heart.
I know that's right, girl, because I got a bat, a ball. I don't own a gun, but I get one. Mess with him.
And that's what I'm saying. My daddy and I mean, yes, I dealt with some issues, but he came in and he was just like, whatever it is that you need. And even today, if I need anything, he gonna be there. Like, I know he don't have to call me up and say, hey, Alicia, I love you. He shows me that. And that's a total different ball game, because that's what we need when we're trying to heal. We just need to know that people are there. We need to know that, that somebody is saying, I got your back and I'm going to be here for you. Just like Joe, y'all. Now she a tough cookie now. She is a tough cookie. But we all cry sometimes. And ain't nothing wrong with crying. We just do it, and we get over it. And the thing about it is that, I want people to stop telling us, oh, that happened years ago, to get over it. Okay, you try going to sleep, and all you do is go to sleep, and you dreaming about, being molested or raped all over again. Y'all better not let me hear y'all saying get over it, because we're gonna be in trouble. I'm telling you. What is Flawless saying? Yes, I've heard it in for a while and it hurts. I got to talk to Javante. It helped a little, and soon I will share with you guys. Okay, baby. I mean, as soon as, hey, we here. for you if you ever want to share. And if it's any way that I can help you with that, I'm here. I don't have a problem with that. I am
Absolutely.
a licensed life coach, so I do that. But holding it in only, it's like keeping all the blood inside of a open sore or a wound. And we already know, in order to get relief, like a hair bump, you know, or a spider bite, when you go to the emergency room with that kind of stuff, the first thing they do is lance it open and get all of the nasty, icky pus out of there. Why? Because once it comes out, it feels much better. So give yourself permission to cry. And guess what? So what? Tell the people around you, I'm having a bad day. Today ain't a good day. Okay? Come back tomorrow. It's not a good day.
Ooh, wait. Oh, as Alicia said, I'm not arguing with you on no phone I got to pay for.
Not on the
That is the cutest to me. I'm not arguing with nobody on no phone that I got to pay for. You better catch me in person.
Yeah.
Now, for me, don't catch me in person. Because you run up on me without this lip gloss on. You're going to catch me in a baseball cap. To the back, broke off. It's on my way to work, and I'll be like, don't say nothing to me.
Yeah. But
I'll be ready.
Yeah, she is very, very sweet. She really.
Don't be telling them that. Then they're going to think I'm a cream puff, and they're going to run up on me, and then I'm going to have to show them I got the diddy bop doo drop.
Listen, I believe they know that you ain't no cream puff. I know they know. I just, we've been dialoguing these last couple of weeks, but I mean, I already know you ain't no cream puff. So I know they know. You talking
They better know.
Baby, listen. A little lady by the name of Mary Jane takes my mind away and puts me in a fog. And so don't come over here with that foolery. They know. They know.
That's true. I'll be like, you know what? See, I can't say it because I got myself in trouble with my daddy last week.
And we're not gonna revisit that. We're not gonna revisit
so,
that.
But yeah, I'll be like, you know what? I'm about to go woosah because these people done got on my nerves.
Yeah. And that's okay. I want people to just get real with themselves and just stop saying, holding all that stuff in. People asking what's wrong. Oh, nothing. What's wrong? Oh, nothing. I mean, something is wrong with you. You ain't sitting there just crying for nothing. It's something wrong. Let's try to figure it out together. Because guess what? I don't want you to keep crying for the same old thing over and over and over again. And look at my baby. What are you talking about, Lord, mama? She's like, yes. And so my thing is that, as a woman, I know for myself personally, especially a woman of color, we already go through a whole lot.
Yes.
Raise children, like right now, my household is just kind of flipped upside down. I got one graduating this year, one gonna graduate next year. Then I got a 13-year-old. And so it's like, okay, I got many, many hats that I need to wear, on a consistent basis. I don't have time for unwanted, issues. I don't want to have to be sitting there crying, because guess what? When we go through those things and we don't give our time, our children is the ones that suffer. I know y'all done saw that commercial, Who Does Depression Hurt? And the dog sitting there like, I'm like, now, did y'all really have to put the dog up there? And they like, yeah, I need you to know the dog gonna suffer too. I'm just like, okay, baby, leave him outside. I'm gonna come and walk the dog, because you got a whole lot of issues going on. But what I'm saying, just give yourself permission to say, you know what, today is not a good day. I'm gonna tell y'all, when I am not feeling good, this is one of my things, and I know Javante learned this about me this week. When I'm not feeling good, if I have to pull myself out of bed, I'm gonna do a whole face of makeup, because it helps me. I'm not just gonna sit there and just, I don't have to look like I don't feel good. I mean, I could not feel good and still look good. You know what I'm saying? So I come out, and I mean, I'm gonna put on a whole, I'm gonna probably look like I'm about to walk the runway, but that's something that I do. And
we're getting ready to time out, you guys. We got 24 seconds remaining.
Okay.
Those of you guys who are enjoying the dialogue, you are welcome to rejoin us. We'll come back into the live. We're going to wrap up our segment with Alicia. We're going to do the second portion of the show with our co-host, Kim Boyd. We're going to do our scavenger hunt and our trivia questions. Now, nobody knows nothing. We like not to get